Gabriel will explain the items, and let's talk about what we have here.
Okay, say during the past trade shows, we introduced many products for the instant market, like our new outdoor speaker series called Decor, or our new Maui i1, the column speaker, but also many electronic devices for typical installation requirements in daily business. And today we focus on that. We focus on the different electronic solutions we have. And well, we can just directly start with the first one, with IMA 30.
Excellent. Let's go for it.
Okay, so what you see here, IMA 30 is the first member of our new IMA series, the installation mix and amplifiers. And this is like an all-in-one, intuitive and reliable 30-watt mixing amplifier for small to medium installations like meeting rooms, classrooms, retail store, or any place where you need to mix and amplify music sources together with microphone and line signals and apply some priority management between all of them.
Well, it looks like a lot of functionality in an obvious user-friendly interface.
Yeah, definitely it is. So that was the goal also in the design, to have a very clear and easy to use front panel, but also a versatile rear panel with many connection options and arranged in a clear way. So you can have it here, you can see it from the highest priority to the lowest priority. And the idea is that if you take a look to the rear panel closer, you can see we start with emergency input. This is the highest priority signal, and as soon as we have signal here or even a mute contact, it will mute any other signal there in the device. So next in line we have two microphone line channels with independent selection of phantom and microphone line, and then we have the music sources. So regarding priorities, what we have in those microphone line signals is that for microphone 1, we have a voice detection circuit. So as soon as we have signal here, it will mute microphone line 2 and music. And if we connect a contact closer, like a mute switch, directly to this channel, it will provide priority for both microphone 1 and 2 over the music. So for a typical retail store application where you have two different microphones and some paging announcements. So last here, we have the outputs. And for this, we have first the powered output. This is a 30-watt Class D amplifier inside, and with both low impedance at 4 ohm and high impedance, 100 volt and 70 volt. We have a switch here just to decide if you use it for low impedance or high impedance. And that means that as soon as we use it in low impedance, we bypass internally the transformer, so we get the best frequency response for low impedance applications. And then this auxiliary output is a balanced output, so you can connect it to external amplifiers or active subwoofers or music on hold systems. And you can even decide if you want to hear only the music source selected or the full mix, with everything, depending on the application you need.
Interesting.
Yes.
How does all this translate it into the front panel?
Well, as you can see, there's kind of a big difference between the rear panel and the front panel.
Definitely.
And then that was the goal, to make this easy to use front panel user interface. You can see here that it's kind of intuitive for the end user. We need to imagine that this will be installed on unmanaged places, so this should be easy to understand. And that's why we have in the center, we have this master volume with the LED to indicate the signal status. So we see that there is signal now with a white LED. Then we have volume control for both microphone line signals and music sources. And for every channel, we have independent signal and clip indication to see what happened in every channel. Then we have here the music source selector with a capacitive button. So we can choose between the Bluetooth interface or the two music sources in the rear panel. And then this button is for the pairing of the Bluetooth.
Oh, very nice.
So this is, let's say, very clean user interface. And last, the most important details about the priorities. So once we have any priority activated here, there's a clean indication. For example, if we have a priority announcement from a microphone, we will see that we mute the music source and we see this PRIO announcement here. So we see what happened. If we activate emergency, then we have here the emergency indication and we see that everything else is muted on the device. And as soon as we release the emergency, the music comes back.
Wow, very simple, smart, and easy to handle.
Yeah, And last but not least, of course, is the standby. We can activate the auto standby. So after 20 minutes with no audio signal there, the device go into standby mode, and then we can reduce the power consumption.
Oh, very good. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's
thanks.
have a look at the other one.
Okay, so this is IPA 424T. It's the first member also from IPA series, the installation power amplifiers. And these are DSP-based power amplifiers. In this case, this model, this 424T, has 4 channels, 240 watt per channel, at both 4 ohms or 70 volts, 100 volts. We are following the same approach, as you can see. The front panel is very clean, and in the front panel you only see the things, the status you need to know. For example, signal, clip, protection, mute, or bridge mode. So these are the only things that, let's say, the end user needs to know. And of course we have the standby button, but even this button, we can lock it. Later on, I can explain it in the deep switches.
Okay.
So we don't want, for example, someone accidentally turning off the device. So in those cases, we can disable all controls. If we take a look to the rear panel, we can see again that there's a clear approach to that. We have here the input section, and for the input section, we can see we have 4 balanced line inputs here with clip indication per channel, per input, so just in case we need to reduce the volume from the source. And then by pair of channels, we can decide the mode, if this is a stereo, parallel, or bridge. And after that, we have the channel output potentiometer to adjust the final volume of every channel. Here we have the remote section. This is for our upcoming paging microphones and remote wall controllers. A very important detail here, we have RG45 connectors, but this is not for Ethernet switches. It's just, this is based on CAN bus architecture, it's a different protocol. So this is only for our new paging microphones or remote wall controllers. And the good thing is that even with this remote deep switch, we can decide which channel will have the subscription for the remote signal, the remote audio signal coming there. Okay, so this is the input section. Then we can move on to the output section. And in the output section, we can see the 4 speaker outputs. And per speaker output, we can decide if we connect to 4 ohms, like here, or 100 volt or 70 volts. You have here the labels. And then we have also these fault connections. These are relays to connect to external management systems where you need to indicate the status of the amplifier, if it's okay or it's failing or something like that. And last, we have these deep switches for the different modes. So first, we can decide per pair of channels if we select the low impedance mode or the high impedance. In low impedance, again, as IMA30, we just bypass the internal toroidal transformers to get the best audio quality and the best frequency response in low impedance applications. We have also the ability to select 4 different DSP presets. So the first one, for example, is flat, everything is flat, so no EQ applied. And in the other 3, we can decide between different combinations of high pass filter, low pass filter. And this is to enable easy use of different combinations of subwoofers and satellite speakers without the need of any remote control software, let's say. Then we have on this deep switch different activation modes like standby, auto standby, to turn this device into standby after 20 minutes of no signal. And then we have the adjustment for software reset and remote mode. And the last one is most important, is the remote lock. So when we don't want anybody messing around with any settings we made here at the installation, we can activate this REM lock, and this will lock all the user interface controlling this device.
Very comfortable.
So nobody can modify this.
Yeah.
So last part, we have this optional slot here. So the good thing about the IPA series is that we made it in a way that is scalable. So if you need a basic amplifier, you have it here. But also, if you need remote control options via software, we will offer here a remote Ethernet card that where we will provide access to the internal DSP settings. And in the DSP, we have routing matrix, input processing, output processing with speaker EQ, room EQ, delay, priority DAC, so many options here. And we also have another option that is the Ethernet card plus Dante interface, and this allows us even to integrate into Dante audio over IP networks with 4 audio channels coming there. So depending on the requirements on the installation, you can just use the same amplifier with different options.
Oh, that's really smart. Let's proceed to the next one I'm very curious about.
Okay, this is our new hybrid DSP processor. It's called Zone X1208. This is due to the inputs and outputs. We have 12 balanced microphone line inputs and 8 balanced line outputs. For this device, we have 2 different models, Zone X1208 and Zone X1208D for Dante interface. And in that model, we add some extra 64 input and 64 outputs via Dante, the audio over IP protocol. So the main concept about this product is that this is a hybrid architecture, DSP matrix. And hybrid architecture means that we have different DSP templates. We create those templates for the users based on their feedback, and then they are available in the software. So depending on the requirements, they can choose one DSP template or the other. But they are still totally free to create custom user interfaces, manage the whole device inside, create presets, and have total access to that. So it's the very good advantage about that is that by knowing what kind of DSP templates we made, we can provide the best technical support because we can expect what is happening inside the device. So that's the reason. So when we take a look also to the rear panel, we can see, again, like we have the inputs here, these 12 microphone line inputs. Then we have 8 balanced outputs. We have 8 GPIs to connect to external mutes or switches and trigger some presets or mute signals inside. And then we have 8 GPOs to connect to external devices like third party and manage them, like make some indication from this device. After that, we have our remote bus, again for our upcoming paging microphones, remote wall controllers, and other accessories that will come in the future. And last, here we have the communications card. So for the basic model, we have the Ethernet connection that provides us access to the remote software. And then the other model has also here the connectors for Dante, in audio over IP connectivity. So again, this looks like, let's say, a black box, but this is a very advanced device with a very powerful DSP inside. So everything happens in the software. Everything that you need to manage inside happens in the software. Well, this is fully integrated with Silica Designer Universal Control software. And the good thing is that we create the DSP templates for the users, and then the users can load the templates they need, and then they have full freedom to integrate this with third-party devices to create the custom user interfaces, so they can make everything very simple to them. And the good thing is that they already know this software because it's in the market for many years, so this is very convenient for them.
Wow, okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for this information.